What's up guys, my name is JDCook5 and welcome back to another episode of the F1 My Team Career Mode, and we're going to be racing around one of the most historic tracks in the F1 calendar. But before we do that, we're going to be doing some upgrades to our powertrain. We can do our quality control because we have got the budget, and we can upgrade a few bits on the R&D. When I was talking about the most historical track on the F1 calendar, we are talking about the track of Monaco. Monaco being the probably most frustrating as rewarding at the same time. In all honesty, it is so tight on this circuit. It's unbelievable. There is no room for error whatsoever. There is only particular parts where you can really kind of make up time. With the rest of it, if you make mistakes, then you're definitely going to feel it, that is for sure. Everything pretty much has to be perfect on this circuit to be able to get the times and to be able to prove that you can be at the top of the grid. Practice went really well. It's a track that I've never really kind of bonded with whatsoever, to be honest, in the whole of F1 calendar. I've never even got a podium in my F1 games, let alone actually win myself. But we did actually seem really strong in game, to be honest. I felt like we could actually prove something different in this particular session. Practice went really well for us. We was topping the times and we felt like we was doing all right. We didn't finish first overall, don't get me wrong, but I felt like we were doing decent at some points within the practice sessions, and a much bigger improvement compared to last year. Last year it was a track that we really didn't like. I think we picked up points, I'm pretty sure we did, but it wasn't the most exciting race to be able to watch as a viewer. As we go over the checkered line, then we do get first on the actual initial lap, but we do go back down to 9th. We did a lot of time on the track to be able to kind of get ourselves used to the track more than anything, and we did get ourselves accustomed really well, and I felt prepared for the qualifying, and I felt like I could give it a little bit more in the qualifying session. But it is going to be a wet one, so all that time in the practice with the dries, it's not going to help us whatsoever, because it's all make or break, because we are going to be using the wetter tyre, and this is going to be on the intermediate. Then, as you can see, a lot of laps have been completed. We do a first lap there, as you can see, we go straight into second, so a good marker so far. As we push on in this second lap, I felt I had more to give more than anything. Even though we put a decent lap in for the first lap, I felt we had much more to give, and that was definitely proved. As you can see, we're not that far off the delta whatsoever, and as you can see, as we go down the hill, we make up a lot of time getting a purple sector 1. We do go wide, as you can see, going into the wall there, which kind of hindered our progress at the moment, but didn't lose too much time. But as you can see, there's points on the track where you could lose a lot of time, and there's tracks where a point on the tracks where you can gain a lot of time also. It's really hard to get that fine margin between kind of getting the best time you could possibly get for this track. But as you can see, we're on a positive as of the moment, going down the hill before we get to this tight few corners. It's really hard to be able to be within track limits and corner, like with the exceeding the track limits and being without having to corner cut also, so it is very hard to be within that margin. Purple sector 2, as you can see, as we come near to the end of this particular lap, we're looking like we're on a fast one, a very fast one, that is for sure. We've made up a second, a massive second, and we could be seeing ourselves going for pole position here. George Russell has got the fastest lap as of the moment, as we go down to 3rd momentarily, as we go onto the final straight, as we go over the checkered line, and that does put us in pole position then, a 1:23.5, and we will be starting at the front of the grid with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen in this Monaco Grand Prix.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino that first opened in 1863. And of course, a certain road race first held in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Cook lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Gasly, Perez, Albon, Ocon, Sato, Bottas, Drugovich, Russell, Magnussen, Stroll, Joe, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to power unit component changes. It's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Here we are then, it is dry in Monaco, we're on the softer tyre, we're pole position as we wait for these lights to go out, and it is 5 lights out and away we go then, and a brilliant start from us as we've got Lando Norris to the left hand side. He makes a very good start also as he tries to go wheel to wheel through that corner. He momentarily goes into first but has to back down and go back into second. Here we are then, we're leading the pack as we go up the hill in the top 5 stands as myself, Lando Norris in second, Carlos Sainz in third, Max Verstappen in fourth and Fernando Alonso in fifth. Then as the DRS wing has come up as a failure as of the moment, but we're not that worried about it just yet as we're not behind anyone and we haven't commenced in lap 3. As we go right to the wall there, we do connect momentarily as we go late onto the brakes around this part of the track. It's really hard to be able to kind of perfect that corner more than anything, as you want it, as you're not getting overtaken but you don't want to slow up the pack behind you also. As we go on to the first bit of the long straight of this particular lap 1 of 27 then, Lando Norris is behind us. As you can see, he's got a decent gap just there, only about 300 of a second, but it is a healthy lead as of the moment as we go into the first lap of this Monaco Grand Prix. But this part is really tricky. I felt like I was losing a little bit of time in the practice sessions and in the qualifying sessions, but we're seeming really strong on the softer compounder tyre, which is really good. Obviously when you don't have some sort of lap time on it and you feel like you don't have the time on the softer compound, you can feel a bit kind of useless on that set of tyre, but it seems to be working and we seem to be doing all right as we come to the end of lap 1 of 27. A lot of fatigue is going to happen as the laps go on. This is a tough circuit, bearing in mind it's about 30 odd degrees in the UK as of the moment, and using that steering wheel is a workout, that is for sure. Lap 2 of 27, as you can see, the lap times seem to be getting better. A purple sector 2, a green sector 1, seeming to be really strong, but Norris is right behind him as he does seem to kind of collide with me there. I go off to the left hand side and Norris goes to the right hand side because he is pitting then, and I'm not too sure what's actually happened. Looking at the replay then, on board with Lando Norris, as you can see, I'm not doing anything abnormal there. He's completely gone way too hot into that corner and off with the front wing, and he's going to have to pit. It might work in his favour, I'm not too sure in all honesty, because there is still many laps to go, those for sure. Fastest lap being claimed in that sort of lap there, lap 2 of 27. As we go on to lap 5 now, as you can see, Carlos Sainz is the man behind us. Has changed compared to what Lando was. Now Sainz is about 700 of a second behind us. We've got a healthy bit of a gap, but that can be made up for sure. Max Verstappen in third then, as you see, 1.2 second gap, with Alonso in fourth, a 1.8 second gap, with Lewis Hamilton in fifth, a 2.3 second gap. So the only battle realistically is between ourselves and Sainz as of the moment. A few drivers behind us, as you can see, they are making up a decent bit of time, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of time to be made up, that is for sure, and there's a lot of things to be able to improve on for those drivers. And as you can see, Sainz has made a decent and a healthy gap just in front of us, and he's on the right hand side, and he's done the exact same thing as Lando. For whatever reason, I'm not too sure what the AI are doing, but as you can see, we're on board with Carlos Sainz there. I'm on the left hand side, I've given him room, there's nothing I can do, and Carlos is completely ripped off his left side of his wing and he goes into the pits then. So that is an unfortunate one for Carlos Sainz as we complete lap 5 of 27. Max Verstappen is going to be the man that's going to be behind us in second, and as Alonso third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, and Oscar Piastri in fifth. All to play for in this Monaco Grand Prix, and we have got many laps left, that is for sure. 21 laps still to go in this Grand Prix as the laps do dwindle down and the tyres do also. Max Verstappen seeing if he can get on the left hand side of me as we go wheel to wheel through the tunnel area of this part of the track, and as you can see, we're going to do the undercut. We're going to box early. The tyres are completely shot. I do not want this position to go whatsoever and dwindle down the grid, that is for sure. I want to be able to kind of have it where we are still coming out in first place as we go wide into that particular corner. As you can see, the softer tyre is completely shot. No way that we're going to get any more laps under that, and we are into the pits then. An early pit stop, an undercut that we're going to be making as we go in for the optimal pit stop, and we do get that 2.2 second. I do hope as we try and get the pit out to the pits as fast as possible. A 2.3, we'll take it, we will take it. As we go out the pits, who are we going to join actually with? Pretty sure Norris should be there, and Carlos Sainz is there. As you can know, they've already pitted, so they don't need to pit anymore, so they could be ahead of us. As you can see, we'd actually slot into third as everyone else pits. Nick De Vries Vries is currently holding them up, but it is a tight circuit. There's not many overtaking points whatsoever. Whether we can kind of capitalise on that is another thing, as we try and see if we can kind of catch up to the little group in front of us, and that is Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris and Nick de Vries. As you can see, as they go down, they're so much faster than Nick. They're so much faster, but we are so much faster than them. Lap 13 and 27, we do collide with Lando Norris momentarily, wheel to wheel. We've got the balls to be able to get past them, and through we go. We're up into 12th as of the moment. We're behind Nick de Vries. Hopefully we can make an overtake on Nick also, so he doesn't kind of slow us up more than anything in the AlphaTauri machine. We're going to look to try and see if we can have an overtake on this bit of the circuit, and as you can see from that previous overtake, that was a brilliant move. I mean, it had to be done. It was the only way I was going to make myself up the grid. If we found ourselves to where Nick would actually kind of go into the pits, we would probably find ourselves with the two of them, being Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, kind of going past us more than anything, as we try and see if we can take a look on the outside of Nick. Not able to do so whatsoever, as we still have to make our turn. Teammate in the pits. There are going to be people that are pitting and doing their strategies as of now, as we go late onto the brakes, going through the corner, going really clean also. Lando Norris making sure he doesn't go up the back of the vehicle for the second time in this Grand Prix, as we go over the checkered line. Then lap 13 and 27 going to be finished, lap 14 of 27 being now, and as you can see, we're back up into 4th place. Yuki Tsunoda and Felipe Drugovich currently in front of us at the moment, as we complete the final few kind of laps before we do go back into the position that we should do more than anything. As you can see, then more people in the pits. Bottas is in the pits. We are going up the pack, and Yuki Tsunoda is the only one that's currently in first, as he hasn't pitted. He's going for a longer strategy. We look fast in that particular lap. A red sector 1, a purple sector 2 and a green sector 3. Definitely trying to better on the times more than anything, as we try and see if we can get a fastest lap in this Grand Prix. Currently Lando Norris has got that as of the moment, as we are on lap 15 of 27. Then Yuki Tsunoda is still right in front of us. Can we make a move on him so he doesn't hold us up, or we will be waiting to pits as we go down the tunnel? As you can see, we're pretty well behind him. If we can go late onto the brakes, as we shoot to the inside line, switch back on the left, and through we go on the Yuki on the Alfa Romeo machine, and it is really tight. He does battle for the place momentarily. I'm not too sure why, because he is going to be going to the pits. He still doesn't want to give it up though, and he still wants to make as much time up as possible, but it's not to be for Yuki, and we do go through. So we're P1 now, lap 15 to 27. I would not normally be saying this, P1 in the Monaco Grand Prix, but we are there. We've still got a lot of laps to go though, and we've still got a lot of fighting to do, that is for sure. Yuki goes into the pits as Lando slips himself up into second. Lando trying to better his performances in this season. He's looking fast, he's looking sharp, that is for sure. Lando looking very good in that McLaren machine. His teammate's not doing too bad also, but the one person that is doing bad is Max Verstappen. As you saw momentarily from where we pitted, he was second at the time, but he's completely gone down the pack, and it doesn't seem to be that he's got any sort of strategy whatsoever. We have though, because we're 2.6 seconds just above Lando Norris, and this is seeming to be really kind of working in our favour more than anything, and we're definitely looking a dominant force in Monaco as we go over the checkered line. Lap 19 of 27 then. We have not got many laps left whatsoever, as the laps are coming thick and fast, that is for sure. Really nice to see it going quick as we resume racing though. Something has happened behind us, obviously nothing in front, as we are in P1 then, as we wait to see if there's any news flashing up on our screen. Resume racing, I'm pretty sure that's going to be an Aston Martin machine, and the Aston Martin is Fernando Alonso. As you can see, he goes down the hill there, he's chasing the Ferrari engine, and a complete load of smoke just bellows out the Aston Martin machine, and that is the end of Fernando's Grand Prix, unfortunately. An unfortunate one for the Aston Martin. He seems to have some good results recently. He's obviously had a P1 in this season, but it's not to be, as he is going to have a DNF, and we are going to chug along. As you can see, 2.4 gap still there, so we are still maintaining a decent gap, and we're being consistent in our lap times. That must mean, as we're not making up any loads and loads of time, but we are kind of consistently kind of doing the lap times to have it where we're not losing time more than anything, and that's the most important thing. Yellow flag, as you can see, is they're still onto the side, as Fernando Alonso is wait to be kind of picked up more than anything by the machinery that they do have to offer to pick up the cars when they do go out of the race. Unfortunate for him, as I say, but we're going to crack on with our races. It's still 2.4 gap at the moment. Carlos Sainz in third then, Lewis Hamilton in fourth, Oscar Piastri, as I was saying about Lando Norris's teammate, he's up there also. He could be getting a top 5, might be able to try and see if we can poach one of them for our team next season. You just never ever know. We've got them long races though, and a lot of things to give at the moment. As you can see, lap 23 of 27, sorry, making sure what our teammate is at the moment. It's only 10.7 gap at the moment, so he's probably not doing too bad. He's on the older set of mediums. He's currently 12, so it's not that bad in all honesty. I feel like it's a decent Grand Prix from him. him, and that's a fair kind of drive from him. Bearing in mind he hasn't had many results that have gone his way this year more than anything, and he doesn't have the fastest of cars on the track. Lando Norris is still right behind us then as he closes the gap, and as you can see, it was about 2.4 second gap. We're going to have to get a shift on because the lap 25 and 27 has come to an end. The penultimate lap then onto lap 26, and Lando is definitely closing the gap. He's making sure he's trying to do everything in his power to try and see if he can get the win in Monaco. Otherwise, he will have to settle for the podium being in P2. But he's definitely giving it our all. But as we go up the hill, it's about half a second. So we have gained a decent bit of time. We are literally pushing these mediums to the possible maximum that we can. Bearing in mind that we were on the undercut strategy, so we have got more laps compared to the other drivers. But in saying that, Lando might have pushed his tyres that little bit extra from kind of having to pit in lap 2. So if anything, he's going to be one that's going to be struggling for the tyres at the moment as we go round this particular part of the track, as we go down the hill, before we get into the tunnel. As you can see, it's about 1.1 gap at the moment, and we're really pushing. We're making sure that we don't have any overtakes, that's for sure. And we go over the line, lap 26 to 27, and it is the final lap of this Grand Prix. We're currently leading Lando Norris in second, Carlos Sainz in third, Lewis Hamilton in fourth, Oscar Piastri in fifth. This has been absolutely unreal, and we literally minutes away from being able to crown ourselves champion in Monaco, and that would be a very good sight to see, that is for sure. As we go down the hill then, we're closing a time, as you can see, 1.5 second gap as of the moment, so Norris isn't closing up whatsoever. All we're doing is just sticking to our strategy, doing our thing, and hoping that everything kind of goes by us. In all honesty, we have felt so comfortable. I've never ever felt so good on a track. Honestly, I've struggled with Monaco over the years. I haven't been able to even get a podium, let alone a win. So this is a big triumph for myself, but as well as the team also for JD Cook 5 Motorsport. A brilliant victory this will be, and this will be the second victory of this season. Obviously, we won out in Australia, and we could be winning in this Grand Prix as we go over this few kind of corners. I can't even get my words out because I'm just full of that much excitement, in all honesty, because it took my breath away that we were even going to be finishing this Grand Prix in a decent position, let alone first. As we go over the final few corners, as you can see, 1.6 second gap, nothing's going to happen to us as we go through the final corner. Onto the straight we go, the checkered flag is being waved in Monaco, and I'm going to be crowned champion as we go over the line, and we definitely did it. Brilliant result for the team and for myself, and that was one that we can remember, that is for sure. You don't get many victories in Monaco, but that is one to cherish, and that is one to store in the memory bank, that is for sure. As we celebrate with the fans, with the team, we shake hands with the fellow drivers. As you can see, Lando Norris in second, Carlos Sainz was finishing in third. A decent drive out from them two. To be honest, I'm really impressed with Lando's driving more than anything. He's definitely improved this year, and as I say, he might be one that I might be able to poach from McLaren and maybe have him in my own team, so I'm battling out the two green cars together on track. As we hit the podium then, we're going to be waiting our trophy, and we're going to be waiting to spray that champagne, that is for sure. As we celebrate there, as you can see, we're clapping, we're celebrating, we're doing everything because we just want to cherish this moment more than anything. As we shake hands and we got our trophy then, a lovely trophy that is, the shape of the Monaco Grand Prix, as we wave it in celebration with the team clapping on, taking pictures, and just taking it in more than anything. As the champagne is sprayed in Monaco then, a triumphant result and a brilliant one at that. We couldn't have done any better than what we've had. It's been a brilliant result. All round, as you can see, they're happy with that one, that is for sure, and I'm the most happy. First place in Monaco then. As we look at the standings, as you can see, my teammate finished in 12th, probably a really good result. As you can see, the Williams was in 10th, Haas in 11th, so that's really surprising to see. Marino Sato doing much better than his previous drivers of Nico Hulkenberg and Kevin Magnussen's. And as you can see, as we look onto the standings then, where is that going to put us? Obviously, we've had some decent results this year, and we are in second. We're only 7 points off of George Russell. Russell not having the best of Grand Prix this time round in Monaco, and he's still in first, but he's still going to have to accept that deficit, that is for sure. Constructors, we're 5th. I'm not expecting too much because we're the only one getting the points compared to Esteban, but we will work on that probably next season more than anything. But yeah, as you look at it, and we've had some really good results. We've got one podium, well, 2 podiums, well, three podiums technically with 2 wins, but we've only had the 1 podium being third, and we've had some lackluster results, a 9th, a 7th, a 5th. So that first really means a lot to this team and the kind of myself more than anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please like and subscribe for more content just like this one, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.